leading towards their future, and I imagine that you are many amongst those people who've been leading towards that future.
Марк верит в то, что люди, которые работают в сообществе, они не работают даже участники сообщества, они видят будущее яснее, четче, и им виднее, куда следует двигаться, и они смогут двигать операционную систему в нужную сторону.
So both on behalf of, I think, all of open source and free software, and specifically on behalf of Ubuntu, it's a great pleasure to meet with all of you. I assume that you're all interested in different parts of free software, and I'm very happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Марк говорит, что ему очень приятно, что здесь все мы сегодня собрались, и он знает, что все вы в какой-то части open source открыто себя засветили, и он будет рад ответить на любые ваши вопросы.
Should we start with some of the questions that
Yes,
came
I have
first?
some questions from Ubuntu community users which are not here today. Okay, the first question is, software development companies such as Apple with macOS and Google with Android create their own devices with own software. Are you going to create such devices like netbooks or tablet computers with Ubuntu as principal operation system?
At the moment, our best position is to be a partner with the community and a partner with the software community and a partner with the hardware community. So we don't have any plans for Ubuntu-specific hardware devices. That would put us in competition with our partners like Dell and Lenovo and Asus and ASUS. But we are increasingly focused on making sure that from a software point of view, we deliver a complete experience. In the next version of Ubuntu, we're taking the first step to be able to design and deliver what we hope will be a really beautiful user experience. And we've realized that, in fact, we need to make that investment so that there's leadership as to what the whole user experience will be like. But we will still partner with hardware companies on servers and cloud and in personal computing.
Вопрос заключался в том, что будет ли компания Canonical развивать Ubuntu для установки как преустановленная операционная система на ноутбуке и ноутбуке, чтобы они продавались в магазинах уже как готовые комплекты. Марк отвечает, что такого направления сейчас не будет, поскольку Ubuntu, его главное направление – это развитие самого пользовательского интерфейса, развитие коммуникации с пользователем, так чтобы эта операционная система вставала на любые устройства, и какие-либо делать специализированные устройства на базе Ubuntu они не собираются.
We are interested in the idea of potentially working with a partner to make a computer hardware which is all free software, which has free software BIOS and obviously free software operating system and applications. And I'm curious whether that you think that would be of particular interest or particular value. Would you choose something because it was completely free software from the BIOS to the desktop, or is that less important to you than having access to the full range of hardware that's out there today?
Марк говорит
предлагается создание компьютера полностью свободного, начиная с BIOS, заканчивая пользовательскими программами. И Марк собирается устроить что-то типа голосования, как я понимаю. Кому интереснее свобода программного обеспечения в сравнении с функциональностью и количеством прикладных программ. То есть все по идее должны ответить на этот вопрос. Кто за свободу, поднимайте руки, кто за функционал, опускайте. Или наоборот, ради бога.
Usually when I ask the question, people say, well, I really would like this, but that laptop over there is 1 millimeter thinner. And someone else says, well, I really would like that. That laptop over there has a slightly bigger screen, and someone else says, well, I really would like that, but that laptop has a slightly smaller screen. So I conclude that ultimately people would like all software to be free software and all hardware to work with, completely with free software, but at the end of the day they would choose those things rather than compromising there to get something which is all free software. At least so far, that is what we've seen.
Марк говорит о том, что разным пользователям нравятся разные компьютеры, кому-то потолще компьютер, кому-то
микрофон. Можно?
Марк говорит о том, что всем нравятся разного типа компьютеры, кому-то компьютер нравится толще, кому-то тоньше, кому-то с большим экраном, кому-то с меньшим. И невозможно сразу же угадать все вкусы пользователей Ubuntu, поэтому Ubuntu стремится быть независимым от железа, чтобы он мог достать на любой компьютер, который понравился
I'm also interested if you think that it would be important for us to do an Ubuntu phone or an Ubuntu tablet, whether you think that Ubuntu would do well on those environments. I'm interested to hear whether you think that those would be important things for us to do.
Интересно ли вам, чтобы появился планшет либо телефон с операционной системой Ubuntu? Поднимите руку.
Понятно.
What about competitors? What about competitors? Android?
Oh, I think Android is an important competitor. I think there's no question that when Google releases the code, they release it as open source. But I think that if we were to do an Ubuntu platform for mobile computing, it would obviously have different characteristics. It might be easier for other people to take it and change it. It might be more familiar for people who are used to GNU Linux on the desktop. So it could be an interesting competition.
Okay, I have the next question. It's number 2. There are lots of holy wars in the internet about Unity desktop environments. Some of people like it very much, some of them don't. In what direction will you go with Unity? Will it have more configuration options, or it will stay light and easy? And does Canonical have any statistics concerning users of Unity?
So first, we're not interested in holy wars. What we're interested in is something that we can share with confidence that will actually make users' life better. So I have my opinions, but at the end of the day, we make a version of Unity and then we take it into a room and we bring people off the street and we ask them to do things like take a camera, get their photographs onto their desktop, then get them onto Flickr, and we test it. It's not a religious war. It's not a holy war. It doesn't matter if it was written in GTK or Qt. I don't care if it's in C++ or in Python. What I care about is that each time we make something which is easier for that person off the street to use. And I care that we do it as free software. So that's the criteria. And Unity is being built with that as the goal. It's very difficult for us to know what other free software communities will do. It's very difficult for us to know, it's very difficult for us to make our plans if we have to constantly refer to other groups. All we can do is say, look, that's the commitment we're making. We'll make that commitment, we'll put in that investment, we'll do that work. And then people will either like the result or they won't. You asked a very interesting question. You said, will Unity remain light and easy to use, or will it have lots of options? If that's the choice, it's a very easy choice, light and easy to use. If options make for an easier to use product for more people, then they're good. If they essentially allow anything and everything to be possible and therefore make it impossible to use, then they're not good. So it's a very straightforward position. It's not really worth getting all upset about. And generally I find that people who get very upset about that aren't likely to actually be productive participants. So we have a great community building up around Unity, and that community I think shares the values that we have, which is that it should be beautiful, it should be easy to use, it should use technology beautifully, right? Actually use the fact that we have all this graphics horsepower. But it shouldn't do it just for the sake of technology. It should do it to make users' life better. So that's how we make our decisions.
Okay, I will translate the short version.
Okay.
Марк говорит, что они не заинтересованы в каких-либо священных войнах между тем, какой интерфейс лучше, какой хуже. Они стараются сделать интерфейс наиболее простым для пользователя. Они даже проводят испытания, приглашая людей с улицы, чтобы они могли сделать какую-либо элементарную задачу, которую ставится. Например, сделать фотографию с веб-камеры, которую должны подключить, и загрузить ее на Flickr. Если у них это получается, значит интерфейс удачный, значит они справились со своей задачей. По поводу следующей части вопроса, в сторону функциональности или в сторону простоты и удобства будет двигаться Unity, то, естественно, ответ в сторону простоты и удобства. Потому что если у нас будет огромное количество настроек, с которыми мы никак не сможем совладать, и они будут удобными, то нужны ли они тогда на самом деле?
I think it's also true that Ubuntu has always been, Ubuntu is a platform on top of which you can experience lots of different things. You can experience KDE, you can experience Unity, you can experience